Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So, this week is going to be kind of simple. It's going to be a shorter video for the Language Lounge, simply because I just kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm doing currently. Mostly because I haven't really changed anything with my study habits for the most part. I'm still going through the videos for Japanese from Zero Book 2. Most of it's been a little slower going because of some other stuff going on, but I am still doing it, and I'm also watching a few of them more than once. Like, one of the videos was like 30 minutes long, and I watched it I think about 3 times, mostly because there's some stuff that's a little bit on the more difficult side. Like, I'm still getting it, but it's just a little bit more complicated is what it is. And so I just kind of wanted to talk over a little bit about some of the other stuff that I'm doing, as well as watching those videos. I haven't done anything else in book 3 yet. I've kind of slowed down on that front, trying to just make sure that I'm good with the other stuff that I'm learning before I move on to the next book. And so that may entail me going through and at least doing a light reading of books 1 and 2 again. Not necessarily reading them fully in depth, but actually just kind of flipping through the lessons and seeing which ones stick out at me, which ones I might need work with, which is mostly going to be from book 2, I think. Book 1 was pretty simple. But one thing that I have done, or have not done, rather, is I have not been keeping up with making my Anki deck from book 1. And there's 2 reasons for that. 1, I got distracted. I'm ADD, I got distracted, it's fine. 2 is because there's some other stuff that I'm also doing, and as I explain it, you'll kind of see what why I'm kind of doing this. So I started looking more into the MIA, the mass immersion approach, and I started reading a little more into it and watching a few more videos on it from other people that have done it or are doing it. Seabolt Speaks, I think, is doing it right now. He just started like a month and a half ago or something like that. And so I've been watching some of his stuff on it, as well as from Matt vs. Japan, who was one of the co-creators and stuff. And so I've been reading a little more into it, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And Matt vs. Japan even says in his some of his videos and in the website itself for the mass immersion approach, he actually says this isn't just, we're not here to teach you a language, we're here to help you figure out how to learn a language, is essentially what he says. And that's exactly what it is. Like, I'm reading through the website, and it's just a way to basically train yourself to learn a language. It's like a way to tailor your study habits, of like, not just your study habits, but just like what you're doing in kind of your everyday life towards your language learning. So one of the things that I started doing is I created a secondary YouTube account, not for video creation, not for me making videos, but solely for watching videos. And I set the location of that YouTube account, I set the location to Japan. And so all the videos that are coming up, or most of the videos that are coming up, are videos that are trending in Japan. They're ones that are in Japanese for the most part, and they're made for Japanese people. The idea behind that, rather than watching as much anime as possible, is because when you're watching anime, it's really good. Anime is a great way to learn. You'll get some exposure to the language and stuff. But one of the things that you'll learn is that the way that the characters are talking in anime is not the way that people in real life in Japan talk. There's a lot of exaggeration. There's a lot of things that they do vocally, with drawing out sounds and different things that you really don't do. And there's things that they don't do that in the actual Japanese language they do. So it's been really enlightening for me to actually go and watch some of these Japanese YouTubers. One of the ones that I've watched a lot over this past week is, especially since we've been off for, I think today is day 5 that we've been off from work for our vacation that Anna was supposed to take, which didn't happen. But I've been doing this a lot since we've gotten off, and I've been watching a guy called Masuo Games. Now Masuo, he has been playing, a lot of his most recent videos are from Animal Crossing. He had some for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild when the Switch first came out. He has some Minecraft videos. Like, they're the type of videos that I was kind of watching already in English, with watching Big Jiggly Panda and Vanoss Gaming and Game Grumps and just all sorts of different gaming channels. And so it was something that I'm interested in. And so I was like, okay, that maybe this will be good. And so I started watching him, and it's a lot of fun. He's very animated. He gets very into what he's doing. And you start to, and he's speaking obviously in just real Japanese, is the way that you would hear it. And you start to pick up little patterns. You start to pick up words that he's using more frequently, which is really cool. And so one of the things I'm doing while I'm doing that, along with a secondary thing that I'll talk about in a second, is that I have my little notebook here. And the intention of this notebook was just for any random stuff. It was for me writing down some things that I needed to do during the day, whether it be chores at home or something that I needed to get done at work or something like that. There's a shopping list. So like, it's just a random notebook of stuff that I need to do, or like just anything. So one of the things that I started doing while I was watching Masuo especially, is I started writing down the words that I was, either words that I was hearing, or which was a little more difficult because I'm still not fully able to parse every single word. But I was also writing down words that, like, this one is full up for both pages. So this has been really good for me. But I'm also writing down any words that, like, he comes across when he's playing video games. Like, when he was playing Legend of Zelda, he came up to, like, a, I think it was just a chest. Yeah, a chest. And it had the word, and it had the command for, like, the A button or something like that. And it had the command Hiraku. And so I immediately paused the video, and I went and pulled up Google Translate, and I just looked it up, and I wrote it down, and Hiraku is open. I kind of figured it was open, but I wanted to make sure, because sometimes it gets a little weird in the translation. And then he went up to, like, this little pillar thing that you're supposed to use one of your items on, and it had the word shiraberu. And shiraberu is search, or to search. And so I've just been writing down any of the words that I see, like in Animal Crossing. There's kaseki is a fossil, yameru is stop or quit. I actually got that one because I saw it on something. I mean, I saw it in it later. But it was actually Masuo yelling yameru at something in Breath of the Wild, something that was attacking him. And he was like, yameru, yameru, yameru. And so I'm just writing them down in here. And it's been very helpful. The other thing that I'm doing is I took my Nintendo Switch, because Anna has her own. So I took my Switch, and I went into the system settings, and I changed the language of the entire system into Japanese. So everything on my Nintendo Switch is now in Japanese. And as I'm playing, I'm looking up words. And a lot of them, like, I'll look them up, and if it's a word that I don't necessarily think that I'm going to use, then I don't write it down. So I wrote down, let's see, I wrote down the word make. I wrote down fossil, but mostly because Anna and I are actually interested in, like, fossils and stuff, and so I was okay with that. Sold out, continue, please stop was one of them. That was another one that Masuo was yelling. Fun, kill time, let's see, wrong, grab, rotate, speak, hold, enemy, awesome. That one was suge. And so I'm writing down the words that are useful to me. And I think that's one of the habits that I had to kind of break myself of, was just, ooh, a new word, ooh, a new word, ooh, a new word, and just writing down every single little word. When the reality is, you have to stop when you're going, oh, I should write down that word. You have to stop and think. Is that a word that you normally use in English? Because if it's not, then you're probably not going to use it in Japanese or German or whatever you're learning. So you should only be writing down words that are going to be useful to you, words that you're going to use at some point in your life. If you're not going to use it, then it's no point in knowing it. And if you do come across it, you're probably going to be able to figure it out through context. And that's one of the most natural ways to learn a language, is learning things through context, just like a child does. Just like you learn your first language. You're learning things by listening and by getting a lot of that input and by trying, but you're also getting a lot of it through context. You come across a word you don't know, but you know all the words around it. Okay, you can figure out what that word means. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It's still been a lot of fun. I'm still not at a point yet where I can do any chunk of a video in Japanese. I would like to get to that point, hopefully before our Disney World trip in December, because I want to try to make a video, if not solely in Japanese, a large part of it in Japanese, before we go, just to kind of practice once I get to that point. So, but yeah, so thank you guys all for joining me this week. Hopefully I will see you all back here next week. Remember to give us a like and comment on the video, and subscribe if you're new. And as always, don't forget to thank the Phoenicians.